As the festive season is now in full swing, the National Sea Rescue Institute has also encouraged people to prioritize safety, especially in and around water. NSRI says over the past 3 weeks, their rescue crews have seen a notable increase in emergency responses, many involving families and children on holiday at beaches, rivers, dams and swimming pools. Just what precautionary measures should people take around water? Here's Andrew Ingram, who's the NSRI Communications Manager, to tell us more this hour. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Ingram. So the sense around this time of the year is that you just throw on a bathing suit and Bob's your uncle, you can just go to the beach, and that is clearly not the case, Mr. Ingram.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me onto the show. It's not the case. So I think this is a time of joy. It's a time of family. It's a time to be happy and to enjoy the wonderful beaches and resources that we have. But with that comes a whole pile of responsibility. And the NSRI has noticed a significant increase in the number of rescues over the past 3 weeks, and many of them involving families and young people. So we're asking to people who are going to go to the beaches, please to choose a beach where lifeguards are on duty and enjoy the water, but swim between the flags. The lifeguards will keep you safe.
And interestingly, as we're having this conversation, we've heard reports around lifeguards, particularly when we look at our beaches. I think it was in Durban, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Ingram, where we've seen some of the budget cuts leading to some of the lifeguards not being able to be on duty. Some of these beaches are actually not staffed with lifeguards, particularly at this time. That would mean that we now need all hands on deck, particularly when it comes to education around safety in water, especially at our beaches.
Yeah, indeed. So I'm not aware of that incident. Those would be lifeguards working for those municipalities. But I think wherever you are, parents and caregivers particularly need to take responsibility for their children. And I think it's really important to understand that drowning is silent. So you'll see in movies it depicted as people splashing the water with their arms and shouting for help. In reality, that's not how it happens. It's absolutely silent. Somebody will just slip under the water. And that's why we ask parents and caregivers, if your children are close to the water or in the water, please be an arm's length away. So if they get into trouble, you will see straight away. You're not going to hear them calling for help. And I think probably the most important thing to bear in mind at this time of the year is to avoid alcohol when you are going to go into the water. Swimming after consuming alcohol puts your life at significant risk and could well put the lives of rescuers at risk as well. So I think that there are three main things to ask people. Please avoid drinking alcohol and going into the water, whether that's a swimming pool or the beach. Watch your children when they're in or near water. Drowning is absolutely silent. And the biggest danger that we're going to face when we go to the beach are rip currents. And rip currents are very difficult for most people to see and to understand. And that's why we say, please choose a beach where lifeguards are on duty and swim between their flags, because the lifeguards understand the rip currents. They'll keep you safe. And if there's any kind of difficulty, they can help you very quickly.
And just when do we know to seek help, Mr. Ingram? Because we might just think that, drowning is something that happens in an instant, but it is a build-up event. Like you also said, sometimes drowning is silent. Just how do we know when to start seeking help?
So I think that's a very good question, and it's really important to get help as fast as possible. So if you are near lifeguards, if you're swimming between their flags, put your arm up in the air, wave for help. If not, if for some reason you've been unable to swim where there are lifeguards and you're at a beach or another body of water where there aren't lifeguards close by, the national emergency number is 112, and you can call all emergency services for free from that number. Please not to be abused, but in an emergency, if you think somebody's in difficulty, please call for help as soon as possible so that we can get help to you as soon as possible.
And also just a quick one before I let you go. I know that there's also an app that the NSRI has. Just who does this app assist? Because from what I saw, it's quite complex, and it would also be pointing to that it's usually used by sailors of sort. Can ordinary citizens download that app so whenever they require assistance, particularly at the beaches, they're able to reach out to the NSRI?
So yeah, what you're referring to is the NSRI Safe Tracks app. It's a free app that's downloadable from the App Store and Google Play. It's aimed specifically at paddlers and small boats, small craft, and we can once you've downloaded that app and you've filled in the basic information, the NSRI can track your course that you're going to paddle or that you're traveling. And if you get into any kind of difficulty, there's a button on it that you can push, which will send your position and that you have an emergency to our emergency operations center. So we say that Safe Tracks takes the search out of search and rescue, which it quite literally does. But it's aimed at small craft users, surf ski paddlers, inshore boats and so on, not actually at people who are swimming on the beaches.
All right, I must thank you so much for your time and insights on the program. Andrew Ingram is the NSRI Communications Manager there chatting to us. Thank you so much indeed.